Ask someone their opinion on anything, politics, health, morality, and watch what happens. They don't think, they recite, they don't analyze, they repeat. They'll give you the answer their political tribe gave them, the opinion their social media algorithm fed them, the belief their favorite influencer told them to have. But if you ask them why they believe it, how they arrived at that conclusion, what evidence they've examined, you'll get silence or anger because they didn't think it through, they adopted it. They downloaded it, they accepted it without question. And Carl Jung would say, this is not an accident. This is by design. Modern society doesn't want you thinking critically. It wants you thinking collectively, and there's a reason why. Let's start with what critical thinking actually is. It's the ability to analyze information independently, to question assumptions, to examine evidence, to hold multiple perspectives simultaneously without collapsing into one. It means you can say, I don't know yet. I need more information. This doesn't make sense. Let me think about this. But modern society has made these statements almost impossible to say. First, the education system doesn't teach you how to think. It teaches you what to think. You're given the right answers. You memorize them. You regurgitate them on tests. And if you question the curriculum, you fail. You're rewarded for compliance, for memorization, for accepting authority. You're never taught to analyze the authority itself, to ask, who decided this is true? What evidence supports it? What are the alternative explanations? Jung explored how this creates what he called the collective unconscious, not the archetypal kind, but the social kind. A shared set of unexamined beliefs that everyone accepts because everyone accepts them. Second, information overload. You're not starved for information. You're drowning in it. 100 news sources, 1,000 opinions, 10,000 hot takes, and your brain can't process it all. So what do? You outsource your thinking. You find a source you trust, a pundit, a party, a personality, and you let them do the thinking for you. It's efficient, it's easy, and it's exactly what the system wants. Third, the speed of reaction. You're expected to have an opinion immediately. The shooting happens, the law passes, the controversy breaks, and within minutes you're supposed to know where you stand. But critical thinking requires time, reflection, sitting with complexity, admitting confusion, and there's no time for that anymore. So you grab the nearest opinion that aligns with your tribe and you run with it. And once you've stated that opinion publicly, you can't change it, because changing your mind means admitting you were wrong, and admitting you were wrong means social death. This brings us to tribalism, and this is where critical thinking goes to die. Because once you've identified with a tribe, political, religious, ideological, you stop thinking for yourself. You start thinking for the tribe. Your tribe gives you a package deal, a set of beliefs that must be accepted as a whole. You can't pick and choose. You can't agree with your tribe on some things and disagree on others. That makes you a traitor, so you suppress your doubts. You ignore the contradictions. You defend positions you don't fully understand because that's what loyalty requires. Jung understood this deeply. He explored how group identification becomes a substitute for individual identity. You stop asking, what do I think? And start asking, what does my group think? And the scariest part, you start to believe you arrived at these conclusions independently. You don't see the conditioning. You don't see the social pressure. You think, this is just common sense. This is just obvious. But it's not common sense. It's tribal sense. And tribal sense is designed to keep you loyal, not logical. Critical thinking requires you to examine ideas from your own tribe with the same scrutiny you apply to the other side. Most people can't do this. Their identity is too fused with their tribe. So when their tribe is caught in a lie, they defend it. When their tribe contradicts itself, they rationalize it. When their tribe does exactly what they condemn the other side for, they justify it, because seeing the truth would mean leaving the tribe. And leaving the tribe means losing your identity. So you protect the tribe at the cost of your integrity. Here's another reason people don't think critically. Uncertainty is uncomfortable. Not knowing is painful. Holding multiple contradictory ideas in your head at once feels chaotic. But certainty feels good, even if it's false certainty, even if it's based on nothing. It gives you solid ground. It tells you who the good guys are and who the bad guys are. It makes life simple. Jung explored how humans have a deep psychological need for order, for narrative, for meaning. And when reality is complex and contradictory, we create simplified stories to cope. So we reduce everything to good versus evil, us versus them, right versus wrong. And nuance is the enemy of certainty, so we eliminate it. Critical thinking requires you to live in the gray, to say it's complicated. Both sides have valid points. I need more information. But the modern world punishes gray thinking. If you're not with us, you're against us. If you question our side, you're defending their side. If you won't pick a team, you're the problem. So people pick certainty over truth, because certainty keeps you safe. So how do you reclaim your ability to think critically? First, you have to admit you've been conditioned, that your beliefs didn't form in a vacuum, that you've been influenced by your tribe, your algorithm, your need for belonging. Second, you have to get comfortable with uncertainty, with saying I don't know, with changing your mind, with holding questions instead of rushing to answers. Jung emphasized that sitting with the tension of not knowing is where real growth happens, but it's uncomfortable, and our entire system is designed to eliminate discomfort immediately. Third, you have to diversify your information sources, not to find more people who agree with you, but to find people who challenge you. Read the other side, not to hate read, but to understand. Ask yourself, what would I have to believe for their position to make sense? You don't have to agree, but you have to understand. Because if you can't articulate the strongest version of the opposing argument, you don't understand the issue well enough to have a strong opinion. Fourth, practice steel manning instead of straw manning. A straw man is when you misrepresent someone's argument to make it easier to attack. They just want to destroy the country. They just hate freedom. That's lazy thinking. Steel manning is the opposite. It's when you present the strongest possible version of someone's argument, even if you disagree with it. It's intellectual honesty, and it's rare because it requires humility. It requires admitting, maybe I don't have all the answers, maybe I'm missing something. Fifth, separate your identity from your opinions. You are not your political beliefs. You are not your opinions on vaccines, climate, economics, morality. Those are thoughts you hold, not who you are. And when you separate identity from belief, you can change your mind without feeling like you're dying. This is what Jung called individuation, becoming a whole person independent of collective identification. But it requires you to stand alone sometimes, to be misunderstood, to lose friends, to disappoint your tribe. Critical thinking isn't about being smarter than everyone else. It's about being honest with yourself. It's about admitting when you don't know, when you're wrong, when you've been influenced. And in a world that rewards certainty, conformity, and speed, that kind of honesty is revolutionary. So think for yourself, question everything, including this video. Because the moment you stop questioning is the moment you stop thinking, and the moment you stop thinking is the moment they win.